Welcome to Roguecast, the official podcast of Rogues Gallery. We'll talk comics for the week, as well as whatever news is on our pop cultural radar. I'm Randy.
I'm Nick.
This is Dave.
And now, on with the show.
Hello and welcome to mid-October.
Yeah, the scariest this time.
The scariest part of Halloween, because everyone knows it's like a rising action.
That's right.
This is when it peaks, and then it slowly declines, so the 31st is not sexy.
If this
spooky.
were a movie, this would be the part where the killer kills somebody who's like a known named character.
Right, like me or Dave or Nick.
Very solid chance somebody during this podcast will
die.
Yeah. So you've tuned into the right one.
Man, we can just let it end. It's fine.
Just midway while you're talking about it, it's like, so you guys seen any movie?
That's when the scary clown erupts out of the wall.
Why do we even let the scary clown in the store?
Yeah, it's a union thing. The Scary Clown Union. You don't mess with the Scary Clown Union.
I guess not.
For the rest of the year, he lives in the dumpster, but during the October times, he gets to come inside.
If you're cold, he's cold.
Please, sir, may I come inside and stab you?
By the way, it's not cold. It's like 90 degrees outside.
Yeah.
But
we're in historic, I believe, like, warms.
Right.
I just want
that
cold
is
and wet.
That's too cold for clowns, though. And people
Right,
know
Gollum.
Yes.
People don't know that clowns actually are a cold-blooded species, and so when it gets below 90, they need to go inside.
People didn't know that they were going to tune in today to a dissertation on the evil clown physiology.
How evil clowns are affected by the weather.
But we have written up a monster manual entry for them.
Welcome to my TED Talk. Clearance sale still going on. Still got some decent stuff back there on that table. Mm-hmm. Halloween party is a week from Saturday. Come out, get some free comics, get some candy.
It's all ages centric.
It's all ages centric, so heavily focused on kids, but there are free comics for everybody.
That's right.
Halloween is for everyone.
Yep, I believe there's some good stuff in these free comics too.
By the time you hear this podcast, we will have restocked our Roosevelt shirts with new, fresh Halloween stuff. Sure. I know one thing we have.
Is it all Halloween stuff?
Not all.
The heavily Halloween stuff.
Heavily.
There is there's a classic TMNT T-shirt, which has all the turtles with the red headbands. They're all red. Very classic.
Yeah.
We also have in the button-up shirts a Sonic T-shirt or a Sonic shirt.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I understand he's popular with the kids.
Roosevelt's Halloween shirts, which are always cool. The Star Wars Halloween and the Marvel Zombies.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Pretty good selection of stuff.
Sonic, of course, a scary Halloween character.
Yes, Sonic is not Halloween themed. We got an Indie Press Revolution restock, so we've got a bunch of your favorite indie RPGs.
Randy, be he man or hedgehog.
And in addition to that, we got a bunch of new stuff. So, I'll list them all off, Dave. I don't know if you look through many of these.
Not enough to like to speak knowledgeably about him. But it's like always exciting. I just finished setting up the indie game section, and it is just packed with newness or things that have been out for months and months and months and months. It feels like it's all new.
We got Knight Forlorn, where it's a 1 or 2 player game where you're playing a forlorn knight.
That one is meant to be like, I did read up on that one. It's like kind of Dark Souls-ish.
Yep.
And the players, I believe, take turns, you sort of playing as the knight, while somebody else will kind of fill out the world on some of the turns, and somebody else will do like the internal thoughts of the guy. It's meant to be that kind of fun, angsty, ass-kicking thing. He gets more powerful, but he faces lots of foes, and there's even randomized elements that'll be like, a recurring foe shows up. He's now my like kind of rival, arch enemy. Yeah, it's
kind
cool.
of like Fisher King or that what was that A24 when you like the Green Knight?
Green Knight, yeah. I think it's gonna be like that, but it's gonna like you're going to get to I think both kick some ass and also be an angsty hero, a dark hero. Hence the name Knight Forlorn.
Death of the Author, another 1 or 2 player game based on tarot cards.
Yep, I can tell you about that one too.
Yeah, you're basically fighting against the wishes of your author.
Yeah, you are a fictional character in a book, and you will opt to change scenes periodically, but you could draw down the wrath of the author, who will himself try to push back against you and punish you. So it's a battle of fictional character versus author.
Scurvy Buggers, which is very much the Our Flag Means Death of RPGs.
100%. A queer pirate game.
So this is interesting. You start by defining your unique flag, a banner that represents your most driving principle, the thing that drives you to privacy.
Yep.
Or piracy. And then it's troop style, so every place in the role takes a role of various pirates. You don't play one character.
Yeah, I think in one session you'll play the same person, but somebody else might play that character next time and kind of add a little bit to it while still trying to use the personality you set out. But it's meant to be, have some goofy fun with it,
Song of the Scriptworm is a solo mystery RPG in the Great Library. You're a librarian's apprentice, and you and your familiar are trying to figure out a stolen song.
Yeah, there's a magical missing song, and I believe they said this actually it kind of functions as a sequel to the other indie RPG that was the something librarian, the one where you're it was a solo game where you're like a mystery.
Stygian Library, maybe?
No.
There's another one.
But there is another solo.
And we got it back in, too.
Anyway, yeah, if you want to go full-on library games, we've got them.
Vanity, Glass, and Stone is a solo journaling game inspired by the story of Snow White and Medusa.
Okay.
You're in a labyrinth of mirrors and sculptures. You're overtaken by a petrification curse that is spreading across your body, and you're stalked by a creature made from your reflection.
This is a bit of a cliche kind of game.
How many...
I am in mid-petrification process, and...
How many Snow White plus Medusa mashups must we have?
It's funny because both those characters are kind of... tended to get deconstructed and reconstructed a lot in sort of modern myth and folklore analysis. So I think a lot of these games take those kind of things into account. They're meant to be let's look at these characters through fresh eyes. That sounds pretty cool. There's
Inevitable, which is a doomed Arthurian Western RPG.
Yeah.
Has a great cover of instead of the Lady of the Lake holding up a sword, she's holding a gun out of the desert.
Yeah, you've got runes, gut bullets and stuff like that. Yeah, it sounded cool.
You are a party of disastrously sad cowboy knights failing to stop the apocalypse.
Yeah, it has the part of the Camelot story that is a built-in "it will fall."
It's gonna fall. Yeah.
Well, I think you're but what if it didn't?
What if it ain't?
And they're you are brave, Lancelot.
We got one more song, which is you're a muse's child. You're going to the underworld to recover your. This is interesting. It's like a mix of Persephone, Orpheus,
and Eurydice, I think,
and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
because they your love has left you a mixtape, and you are going to go down to the underworld and try to recover your love.
We also got, was it Void, whatever, something AM,
which is
the build your own mixtape playlist, basically, as if you were a DJ of a station, which has a free downloadable thing where you can make it also it's a spooky station, like Night Vale kind of thing.
And also we got Jukebox, which is the karaoke musical game we got.
Yep.
Boldly Go, which is very much a Star Wars or Star Trek game.
Yep. The cartoony art on the front kind of reminded me of who's the gold digger? Not gold digger, but oh my god, steampunk guy, Phil Folio.
Oh yeah,
he did some steampunk thing, didn't he?
No.
Girl Genius.
Girl Genius. Yeah. It kind of looked like Phil Folio version of for people who know this. He was a big 70s 80s cartoonist, and it had it looked like it might be bring a little bit of that kind of style to Star Trek, if that's what I'm thinking of. So it'll be, I think, kind of a little bit larger than life fun. I bet it's more 60s Star Trek than 90s. Say I don't know.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
Waffles for Esther, which is a game. It's a solo game. You are a waitress trying to deliver a hot plate of freshly made waffles to your favorite regular, Esther, and she's nowhere to be found, and you have to find out where she went.
So it's like a mystery at the Waffle House.
Yes.
That is insane and
insanely specific.
You know what? You're not going to get this in an average D&D game.
Nope.
I'm just saying, you go to these places when you're not just wanting to stab a bugbear.
There is a solo journaling game called the Jester King's Dance. You are at the Jester King's Ball. There are demons dancing, and the entertainment must not stop. And it's you are basically watching and documenting the journey through the Jester King's strange hell.
Wild.
Yeah. Again, how many games must we see? Such a cliche.
You know what always pleases me? These games all sell.
Yeah. These are a lot of solo journaling this time, which seems to be a popular new thing.
We have a whole shelf of solo games, and if you haven't tried these, we've talked about them before. Many of them are journaling, but not all of them.
Yep.
where you'll kind of get sort of prompts. They'll prompt you to like make creative choices. Like there's almost a choose your own adventure quality in some cases, or a randomized element where you'll like draw a playing card or a tarot card. The book will have these charts and stuff that'll tell you, oh, that means this happens, and then you kind of write a paragraph or two about that fictional thing, or in some way you play it out. There are ones that are a little bit more action oriented, but it is they tend to be writers' exercises, creative writing prompts, sort of. And there's like ones that are mysteries to be solved. There's ones that will help you like build a character that you can then use for another game. Like you start out with amnesia, and through prompts you learn who you are. So like it is cool stuff.
2 more. Cold Dark, which is a solo journaling game where you are in a bleak frozen wilderness after your plane was brought down, and you are trying to survive, and you're being stalked by a beast.
I hate when my plane goes down and I'm stalked by a beast.
I know, one or the other.
Yes.
And then Tether, which is a 2-player game where it's set in a forgotten town, and you sort of exchange journal entries where you're playing the role of a character living in the rural town during different time periods.
Okay.
They're connected by a journal known as the Tether, which allows them to write notes to each other through time.
That's cool. There's one of the weirder games that reminds me of. I don't. It's called like Barbed Wire or something like that. Is a World War I game where you basically play a person plays like a soldier in World War I, and like the other person is their sweetheart at home.
Yeah.
And through small prompts like missing them, that you argue over something or things like that. You exchange short letters meant to reflect like the real letters that would have occurred at the time. Maybe actually really putting you kind of in the place of somebody in that era.
Right.
But also, a fictionalized element with a fun bit of romance to it, and yeah, I know that so many of our customers have creative energies and skills, and they're writing on AO3, they're doing all this stuff. They're in NaNoWriMo thing, all that.
Yeah.
And like these journal games are, I think, really good prompts for people who have those inclinations.
Yeah. 3 more games. They're not indie games, but games that we got restocked. Done a lot of new games this week.
Yeah.
Just to restocks. But we did get Agent Avenue, which is a game where you are 2 undercover spies unaware of each other, notice espionage signs next door, and then you're recruiting locals, turning every interaction into a strategic mind game.
Oh, interesting.
So it's spy versus spy in the suburbs.
Yeah, okay.
Unlock Enchanted Adventures. Unlock is the mystery or the escape room games.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. This one has
like fairy tale type stuff.
Kalea's Wrath, Frenzy at the Amusement Park, and The Curse on Camelot.
Oh, cool. I want to do the Curse on Camelot one.
And then Splendor Kids, which is Splendor for Kids.
Splendor being the very cool sort of gemstone hunting game. Yep. I forget. I've played it before, but I forget how you would call the central mechanic.
Gemstone
is it
merchants.
a bidding war?
No, you're using chips to buy mines and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that makes it easier to buy other things. And you get the favor of royals by getting certain things. Yeah. All right, let's talk comics of the week. It's another big week. Again, you probably just coming in, if you come in on Wednesday, see graphic novels on the table. There's no room for them on the wall.
Yep.
That's comics are booming right now.
Yeah, there's we saw like comic creator Gail Simone over on her message board, on her social media, was talking about seeing it from her perspective. I think she's also heard from retailers. We are seeing this on the ground.
For sure.
And it's very exciting. And so, by the way, thanks, y'all. That's super cool of you. I know these are kind of scary, uncertain times, but I think that we also we're a fun little escape. And
you have to have your escapes from things.
God knows, yeah.
And comics and games, and these are all good things.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. So yeah, we wouldn't have these tables full if y'all weren't finding cool stuff.
Yep. And we're starting to be able to carry a few more indie things, which is nice. We'd always like to order indie stuff, but if nobody picks it up, we don't order it.
Right.
We're starting to get a few people picking up some indie stuff, trying some other stuff out from different publishers, and with Diamond gone, Lunar has picked up the slack and is making those available. So we're trying to sort of broaden that a little bit. And if you have a thing you see coming up, it's always good to let us know, hey, I want to try this book out. Because if you order it, we'll probably get a couple more off the shelf and see if anybody else likes it.
Yep. Sure. You can guide this cruise ship. Not like you don't get full control of the wheel, but you can tilt the wheel.
You can slap Gilligan upside his head and make the boat go to the right.
Yes. So if you were to call in and say, could you order this one indie comic for me? I'd be like, another Gilligan slapper.
Yeah.
Which
that's good. That's That's a pop culture reference before like 40 years ago. So.
You know what? It's in the pop culture, I think.
Dave's Gilligan, right? People get to slap him.
Dave is Gilligan. I'm the skipper, and you're the professor.
Sure.
Serena and Jeanette.
Marianne.
Serena and Jeanette are Marianne and Ginger.
Okay, fair enough.
And also Mrs. Howell and Mr. Howell.
Well, as the rich one, I'm Mr. Howell.
Oh, okay,
I think.
all right. So let's start with Dungeons and Dragons. Actually, this is Dungeons and Dragons. Dark Horse Comics has the D&D license away from IDW, and they've started with the Fallbacks, which is a novel series. It's a new series of adventurers.
It is kind of something we've seen off and on in the comics and in the movie and stuff recently, which is the misfit band of adventurers that with the good heart and all of that stuff. And honestly, it's kind of it fits because most players tend at that. Yeah. Unless they're a bunch of dumb edgelords.
Yeah, there tends to be a little bit of goofy, but it's actually not. It's not played just for laughs. They have principles. They have some cool magic items. So I knew I was going to love this because I've read both novels. I love these characters. They have a pet Otyug named Uggy.
Yes.
And I was very pleased that you and Nick both enjoyed it as well.
Yep. Yeah. I was taken that it starts with this interesting altercation where essentially there's like some kobolds in town, the town of Loudwater. Yep. And they're stealing some stuff from a marketplace. There's a chase with the city guards. The Fallbacks team is there, and they're like, "Are we helping? Are we hurting? Do we go after these guys? Oh, are they just stealing food? We don't know yet." Yeah. And then there's like a rival team that shows up and makes things worse and more complicated. And the rival team, they're a bunch of great d-bags. Yep. They're like hilarious. And that's what kicks off the adventure.
Dave, so this is by Greg Pak, who is a writer who did World War Hulk and some other stuff. Yeah. He's really good here.
I think it's one of the best things he's written in a long time.
The art is by Wilton Santos and Edvin Alves, and the art is gorgeous.
It is so good.
It is really nice. There's a couple bits where I lost storytelling in the action a little bit, but that happens with new artists sometimes. Yep. But overall, this is a really strong book.
Like, look at that on that opening page, the detail of that marketplace, the kobolds busting out of.
There was no need to have that much detail, and they did a great job.
Yep. I want to say particular kudos to the Otyug. Which, by the way, for people who don't know Otyugs, they are a D&D monster that is a big old tentacle, kind of lumpy,
They're
big
garbage
old
eaters.
That eats garbage. Yeah, down there in the dungeons, you'll find them eating up trash and attacking you if you get too close to them. But this is like a domesticated one.
Sort of.
It's sort of.
Dave, this does a thing which I know you don't always like. I enjoy, where each character has like a little pop-up that tells their identification.
Right, like a little caption. Since D&D has had even going back to, we've talked about this, the 80s comic from when DC had the property, it has had a tongue-in-cheek side to it. Yep. They recognize the game is it's not Lord of the Rings every time. Yep. It's not Lord of the Rings most of the time. Yep. And so, yes, when the Otyug pops up, it identifies him as Uggy, Otyug, domesticated, somewhat.
But all of them are like that, and they've got little Bardrick Goodhand, Cleric, Party Realist, Kazrin Veraith, Wizard, Close Reader. They all have a little bit.
Their fighter dude is so cool looking.
Did you notice? I don't know if you noticed, his sword is broken.
Yeah, okay.
So that is his father's sword. There's so much.
He's identified, by the way. He's a cool looking Asian dude. Yep. He's got this armor that's what is the current Asian lands that they have in Faerun?
I don't remember, but yeah.
But whatever that is, he's possibly from there, or that's his ancestry. Anyway, he's identified as Anson Iroh, fighter, sword of gold, heart of gold.
Now their bard Lark, who is a tiefling, he is. There's always one player who's like, that's what my character would do. Yeah. That's who's playing Lark. Because Lark gets them into so much trouble. And at first, I really didn't like him as I read in the books. I'm like, man, all these other people,
can be a pain in the
they're
ass.
Good. And this guy, he really is just like out for himself. He's introduced as Bard and Ham. But he's so charming. It's such a believable version of a Bard who's just like, oh yeah, this guy, he will probably pickpocket you, but you kind of like him.
I think that people who, by the way, who also like the D&D thing, Critical Role, I think they're going to be into this because this feels like this could be a Critical Role group in a way.
I also weirdly like that the rogue is the party leader.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a nice.
She's very against type.
She's also. Did you guys catch her cool dagger ability thing?
Yeah. teleportation.
Does she teleport with
she
it?
She throws a dagger, and then she can teleport to the dagger with the other daggers.
Yeah, it's cool.
They all have
actual
cool
spell in D&D?
No, they all have cool items that do cool things.
That was a really cool.
And the cleric in it explains that he doesn't worship gods. He bargains with gods.
Yes, I love that too.
And that means that his the way he does his cleric-y stuff is rather different. But there's also they have a fight with a big old classic D&D monster in this, in addition to the marketplace fight in the first one.
This is for sure my pick of the week.
Yeah, I think it's mine too.
It's quite good.
Marvel and Dynamite have a team-up book called Fantastic Four times Gargoyles. Oh no, this actually isn't Dynamite. It's just Fantastic Four and Disney, Marvel and Disney.
Yep.
But Gargoyles, the animated series.
Yeah, the
Crossing with
90s Disney one.
So this is taking current Gargoyles continuity and putting it with Marvel continuity.
And it is written by Greg Weisman, who, among other things, was a big writer on Gargoyles.
I believe he is listed as one of the creators, if not the driving creator.
He also wrote the best Spider-Man animated series.
It's true.
He's been writing a Spider-Man team-up series at Marvel.
If we didn't say, yeah.
This had me at opening couple of pages because of the villain they use.
They use a classic FF villain who makes a lot of sense. They bring in a couple of Marvel's characters who belong in there's some good deep cuts in here. They also have Iron Man is in there. Yeah. It's not just the FF.
I'll say one of the characters that shows up, for instance, if you're a longtime Marvel person, is the somewhat obscure...
I know, don't say who it is.
Oh, come on, it's not that big.
I'm just going to say, if you like Gargoyles of all varieties, you will be happy with this book.
Yeah. Yes, I think I enjoyed going in. I did not know any of those PRs, but I enjoyed every surprise, so I don't want to give it away.
I feel like a book like this is a little low-key, and every little bit that might get somebody to read it helps.
All right, well, when they come in, if you come in and buy it, ask Dave. He'll tell you.
Okay.
He'll ruin it for you.
Or you can ask Randy, and he'll be a big old stinky curmudgeon.
No, I'm going to be just buy it and read it, and you'll like it better.
I'm going to protect you from yourself.
I am. I'm protecting them. I'm protecting them from you.
That's what he does.
I would say it is a very good issue.
I really liked this.
I thought it was a ton of fun.
I enjoyed it quite a bit.
I actually thought the art was really good.
It is. It's really nice. Yeah.
And it's just a one-shot. It's not
just a one-shot.
Yeah.
So you'll get the full story of their team-up. And, it's kind of cool because, these are both, native New Yorker hero teams. The Gargoyles are literally named after the different boroughs of New York. FF are a long-time New York team.
I just wanted more Bronx. We only got a couple of little scenes with him.
He's like their dog, right?
Yeah, he's my favorite.
All right, we got 4 more Age of Revelation books this week.
Yep.
That's just a reminder, that's the X-Men alternate timeline crossover that they're doing. Yeah.
Correct. This is Unbreakable X-Men, which is focused on... It's Gail Simone's X-Men book. So it's focused on her new characters, as well as Gambit and Rogue, and a surprising Marvel Cosmic character who shows up.
Yep.
It's got that romance and tragedy thing, if you like that kind of thing. Rogue Storm, where something that happened during this lead-up to Age of Revelation was that Storm did some kind of crazy weather thing that destroyed the environment in Africa and some other places. And Rogue somehow was split off from herself.
She's basically got
there's Rogue Red, who is wearing the extreme X-Men version of her costume, and she doesn't have the powers.
Oh.
She's just
roguish. She just has the power of big hair.
Yeah, she has the power of big hair.
Some cool brass knuckles, though.
Yeah,
I thought you were saying a different word.
She gets a cool magic weapon from Storm, and now she's gonna have to use it along with her little team to go and kill Storm for her actions.
It's true.
So it's an interesting. They're doing a version of X-Force in here too, so they use some interesting versions of some of those characters. This is the person who's been doing Storm, who really likes Storm as the goddess and the most powerful X-Men, and she has become sort of more dangerous in this. So they have a team going out to take her out.
I missed. Is she allied with Revelation?
No,
aka the era of Apocalypse.
It's
her own thing.
Yeah.
But Storm, you are so nice.
Yep. Apparently not.
I guess great power corrupts, and
it's true.
Sinister 6, which is set in what used to be New York. It's still they're under the Revelation virus or whatever it is. There's a team. They are capturing. You can give it away because it's on the cover. Venom. And the team is really cool. They're all working for Mr. Sinister, and there's reasons for that.
For reasons.
When they reveal it, I like the reveal of Sinister being the guy who's kind of working on the cure for this gene bomb thing.
Yeah, well, because he doesn't want anyone else to do gene things except for himself.
That's his thing, yeah.
That's his thing.
The team is led by Havoc, and I thought his motivation for it was really good. Yep. It concludes a mutated black cat, Domino, a Lady Phantom X, which is a character I vaguely remember.
Yeah, after reading her, I did remember her, and she's a ball of fun.
And Omega Red. I think this is my favorite of the books this week. Of the Revelation books.
I agree. I think it was an interesting team up. They're going to have an interesting driving mission.
I like a good gathering the team issue. This kind of that. Oh, and also I forgot Misty Knight and Colleen Wing.
Yeah, Misty Knight and Colleen Wing show up. But it was cool.
But they are not mutants.
Everybody is alive in there is.
The virus turns you to a mutant.
Yeah. Iron and Frost is the other one. This is going back to the sort of weirdly obscure during the tail
Iron
end
and
of
Frost, like Iron Man and
Emma Frost.
Right?
During the tail end of the Krakoa era, Tony Stark and Emma Frost got married.
Yep, it was
apparently some kind of fake out.
They did, but it was mainly for reasons.
Neither of them were willing to have sex before marriage, so they had to seal the deal.
Yes, definitely.
And then they're like, well, now we can be divorced.
This opens like in New York as things are going down.
Basically, with some of the Seraphim trying to...
As things are going down. You mean like the Revelations?
Yes,
stuff?
the virus stuff.
Yeah.
This is 6 years ago is when it takes place. And the Seraphim, who are Revelations like foot soldiers.
Like
they're trying to grab a new mutant away from her mom, who is not a mutant. And Emma Frost and a strange team of like her, Iron Man, War Machine, Firestar
That's a weird team.
are trying to stop them. And things go badly, and winds up in the future where we see Iron Man and Emma Frost like having maybe a bit of a relationship, and then maybe there was something to it besides just the facade.
Well, it also puts Emma in a weird spot because
yes, it does.
Of things.
Yeah,
I actually really liked that. I thought that was an interesting thing to explore.
This was an unusual because I felt like this was going to be one of those side series that nobody really needed to read, and it probably this is not going to have a huge impact on the overall Age of Revelation story, but it's an interesting story to be told that could really only be done in this setting.
Right.
And I'm kind of if you're going to do that, I like that. Like, give me a story that could really only work here.
Go for broke.
Yeah. Speaking of that kind of thing, DC's KO. We'll talk about some of the announcements that came out of New York Comic Con about how bonkers that's going to be.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the first issue of that hit last week, sold out.
They have not listed a reprint yet, but they will.
We know they're going to get there. And
we will.
This is the first crossover.
They're doing a few tie-ins. This one is Titans. It's by John Layman, and the basic deal is that the DC KO, in a week, Darkseid is going to destroy the universe.
Yes.
And they know this now, so they have a week to evacuate the Earth.
If I'm not mistaken, in the main KO book, they're doing their ultimate Hail Mary pass tournament thing,
Mortal Kombat
to
thing,
try and stop it.
Correct.
But the presumption is it ain't going to work.
If it doesn't work, let's evacuate the Earth.
Let's get it. Yeah.
And so they are evacuating literally everyone on Earth using magic, technology, all the superpowers. It's a logistical story.
And also, it's really kind of like farewells and alliances.
A lot of characters having bits with each other. I really liked this.
This caught me up on kind of
where the Titans are.
Of the Titans.
You know what? I haven't read the whole thing, but I was flipping through it, and like the art was crazy.
The art's really good.
There's an image of them standing under Titan's Tower, the new one in Bloodhaven.
Yeah.
And it is so well drawn. It was like the best Titans Tower I've ever seen in my life.
It's Pete Woods who has been working at this. He's been in the business for 30 years, and he's great.
Yeah, he killed it.
Yeah, really good. Actually, maybe kind of want to go back and reread some of Layman's Titans.
I wonder. I mean, it looked like Arsenal and Donna Troy are together.
Just want to try and get.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Trying to get a layman's perspective.
I thought that was a cool idea. But yes, perspective.
We'll talk more about Marvel and DC when we get to the other stuff because that's the only jumping on points. But there's a lot of indie books starting this week again.
Yep.
30 Days of Night is the next in the IDW Dark line, their horror line.
Yeah, which has been doing well. Like it had the surprise breakout of
Event Horizon.
But
also
Beneath the Trees, where nobody sees. Yep. Is part of that. Is part of under that banner.
They're about to have the Sleepy Hollow.
Yep.
And they announced some more at New York.
It's an interesting creative mix. Like these are some good choices, I think.
So 30 Days of Night. I think none of us are super huge fans of the franchise.
Although you know what I'll say, I think. The movie actually is surprisingly my favorite version of it.
I've never seen it.
It's good. You know what? It's better than you'd think.
Oh, maybe I'll throw it on my list.
It is a good. Don't set the expectations too high, but you're going to be like, you know what? That was not bad.
It's on Paramount right now.
It's on Paramount. Hey, I have Paramount because Dave has Paramount.
And it has Josh Hartnett and the lady from Triangle, who was from Lost and all that other stuff.
Melissa George?
Or no, Alias. Yeah, it is Melissa George.
Okay, yeah, she was not on Lost.
No, she was not. She was.
That was Emily DeRaven you're thinking of.
That's true.
So there's a new 30 Days a Night comic. Is it Steve Niles returning?
No, Steve Niles is
He's a story
consulting.
Okay.
But it is written by somebody new, Rodney Barnes. He's done some other stuff. I recognize the name. The art is not by Ben Templesmith either. It is by a guy named Chris Sheehan. It's nice. I sort of skimmed through this. But this does seem to be like, it's a legacy, right? The people who survived the Barrow, Alaska attacks and the vampires are like going back to it. So it is a reunion. If this were a movie series, which I guess it also is, this would be the 10-year later reboot kind of thing.
And I think people probably listening maybe know this, but like 30 Days a Night was about vampires taking over an Alaskan town when they hit that span where there's no sun.
There's no sun for 30 days.
And so it's like, that's party time for vampires.
Yeah. Yes.
Which is, that could be an alternate title.
That's
like 30 Days of Night is spooky, like if you want to go for spooky. But I would have called it Party Time for Vampires.
Yeah, for sure. Then we've got Distillery has a new book, which is called Endeavor, which is based on a ship that came to the New World that like had catastrophe. Like it was Captain James Cook's boat, and that basically it was a. It says here it brought theft, illness, murder, and rape to the shores of already inhabited land. So it's going to it's the Hawaii. James Cook is the guy who colonized Hawaii.
That's right.
So this is it's set in modern day. It starts in Australia. There is a recreation of the Endeavor that a bunch of rich people are getting on with their kids. And then there is some interplay between the lead character is a dad who is a doctor, and his two teenage kids, one of whom is an autistic girl, and her older brother, and they have lost their mom to cancer, and so this is like their trip. But there's some other rich douchebags, and the kids like get into it with them and that kind of thing.
So are the sins of the past visited upon them? Like,
nope.
Okay.
No, it's actually not about that. That's sort of like their baseline is the character stuff, but then there is a sort of a horror twist that is gonna make things a lot harder for everybody on board.
Okay.
I really like this. Did you read this thing?
I didn't get a chance, but the
Distillery's they have done some good horror stuff. You know, we recently really liked their White House Robot Romance. Yeah.
They're supposed to be finishing White Boat, their Scott Snyder horror book that you guys both
kind of got a little bit derailed in the Diamond distributors went under debacle, which was no fault of the creators. That's not on their end.
Right. If only someone could have warned them. Anyone. But yeah, this is the art. By the way, the art. It's written by Stephanie Phillips. The art is by a guy named Mark Lamming.
Yeah, and
it is gorgeous. Nick called it. Said it looks like sort of Mike Perkins stuff.
Okay,
it's got that photorealism.
Yeah,
it is beautiful, and it's in this oversized format. So if you like the Distillery stuff, if you like horror stuff, this is a really good first issue. Oni has a book called Yuletide, which looks from the cover to be like a weird horror book.
Yeah,
but then it's got some almost a cartoony art to it.
I thought the art was actually pretty good.
It is. It's fun, but it's like it's not what I was expecting.
Is it sort of? I believe it is like a spooky Yuletide, but maybe not like grim dark horror.
It's like a YA spooky Yuletide.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
It's set in a town called Christmas, Pennsylvania, that is basically always Christmassy.
Yeah.
And it's about a couple cynical kids, one of whom is Jewish, the other of whom is like his family does a lot of the Christmas stuff, and they're both tired of all this bullshit.
Yep.
And they maybe accidentally are going to unleash the negative side of the Christmas spirit.
That's interesting.
A return from a character called Hector Plasm by Benito Cereno, who is one of the guys who works with Robert Kirkman.
Yep.
He's a monster hunter.
Benito Cereno.
And yes, Benito Cereno is a monster hunter. And this is his hunt for Bigfoot. It's a lot of Pacific Northwest, cryptids, all that kind of stuff.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. Fun first issue. One Last Trick is from a new publisher called Midnight Factory. This is art by J.K. Woodward, who does sort of a painty style.
Yeah, I would say not wildly different from like an Alex Ross or somebody like that. He did the thing that I best know him for was he did the initial Mirror Universe Star Trek stuff. That was the first time we'd seen Picard and his crew in the Mirror Universe, and he did just an amazing job of coming up with Mirror Universe looks for all of those people.
He also did with Peter David a book called Fallen Angel.
Oh yeah,
that was really, really good. And this is a cyberpunk story, which I'm always looking for good cyberpunk, about a sex worker and assassin who basically gets these upgrades that get paid for by her last job, and last job turns very dangerous, and now she's sort of on the run.
Okay.
Really, really good cyberpunk story with really nice art. I dug this one a lot, more than I expected to.
There's the cyberpunk. I think has been trending both because the game that came out a few years ago,
Yep.
the new RPG that's in that same setting, and the fact that we live in a cyberpunk dystopia.
Right. Yes, there is that. There is.
So yeah, but if you want the cooler side of it, it's in this comic.
We've got a book called Terrorbytes. That's terror with BYTES.
Like Terrorbytes, but terror
Yes.
bites.
This is a Mark Russell book. Mark Russell's also doing a sci-fi horror kind of anthology over at Ahoy Comics. This is from Mad Cave. It feels like more of the same kind of thing. It is.
That's comic book satirist Mark Russell.
Yes.
Yeah.
It starts with some robots moving through this post-apocalyptic wasteland, and then jumps back to a sort of a tech disruptor who has invented a VR that you plug into when you're dying, and it will take all your memories and you'll live them again instead of the pain dimension and everything as you die.
Okay.
It's an interesting.
I want that.
It's an interesting idea. Of course, it goes badly for him.
Oh no.
And maybe it
I don't want
causes,
it anymore.
and possibly causes the end of humanity.
Ah, oopsie.
So I don't know if this is going to be like an anthology where like the robots keep discovering more bits of technology that cause the end of this world, or if it's going to be more of like one story. But I get the vibe that this is sort of a Twilight Zone-y, like, or Black Mirror-esque, here's a bad piece of technology and here's what happens, and then the robots are going to find other stuff that caused this. But it was really good. If you like sort of sci-fi dystopia stuff, highly recommend. Also really nice art. Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is the new all ages from IDW in the sort of Spider-Verse-y style of the most recent movie they did.
Yeah.
I was not a fan, but I know some people really were.
Yeah, some people really connected with that one.
And this is that. If you like the sort of goofier Turtles, worth a look. A book called Jimmy Robinson, who's an alt guy who's been working since the 90s.
Yep.
There's a book called Weapons of Art. This is kind of a weird Vertigo-esque thing. He writes and draws. It is about a couple of homeless kids named, their nicknames for each other are Thor and Freya.
Okay.
And she winds up in the hospital, and Thor meets a girl who looks like Mona Lisa, and then runs into Jimmy Robinson, creator of the book, and a digital artist, and they are like making live art magic. This is like Grant Morrison type weirdness.
That's sure craziness.
But it's, the idea of like using art to change the world in a more direct way. It's an interesting story if that kind of thing is up your alley.
Yep.
All right, other stuff. Captain America #4 is a big turn in the Cap has just come back.
Yeah.
He's gone in with the new 90s Captain America, right?
Yeah. There's Chip Zdarsky's Cap run that's right now heavily involved in Latveria and Dr. Doom's.
Yeah, Latveria has just been taken over. Their team is going in. It's Steve Rogers' Cap versus Doom.
And then things take a turn.
Yeah, where it's set is like this is a rethink of their first meeting.
Yeah,
like when Captain America gets revived. He's on a secret mission in Latveria. He finds out. I haven't read this latest issue, but yeah,
it was really good.
It's been quite interesting. Zdarsky is definitely thinking about this in a way that you don't usually get with these characters. Kind of new paths. Including in last issue, we talked about this, that Dr. Doom, when Cap shows up and he's like, oh, hey, well, you're a guest here. He's like, I'm a great admirer of yours. In fact, part of my, taking Latveria, our Latvian independence was inspired by your own heroic fight against the fascists in World War II.
Yeah.
And Cap's like, what do I do with this?
Yeah. There's some really good nuanced Doom stuff going on.
Yep.
Which ties into One World Under Doom #8, the penultimate issue that happens this week. Doom is still fighting everybody. Valeria is trying to talk him out of this madness, and things turn tragic at the end.
Yep.
I don't know how this is all going to wrap up, but I do know that at the end there's going to be a new Sorcerer Supreme, and that Doom and Cap will be more directly in modern day going at each other in the Cap book. That's what Zdarsky is laying groundwork for right now. So, Godzilla destroys the Marvel Universe. I don't want to give away the last page reveal, but the last page of this is a ton of fun.
Yeah.
Dave, you mentioned to me when I got to it, I was like, it's great. This issue is mostly about the Hulk takes some giant man Pym particles along with a giant axe and sword they had ready and fights the Hulk.
Oh, nice. Or fights the Godzilla.
Yep. So if you want to see a giant-sized Hulk with an axe and a hammer fight Godzilla, this is the book for you.
One of the rarer variants we have on that is just Godzilla's giant jaws coming down on the Hulk, and the Hulk's trying to keep his mouth pried open.
Yep.
And I love the kind of manic look on Godzilla's face, which, again, every time I see... Godzilla does this a lot, and a lot of artists are pretty good at capturing it.
Yep.
It's like a dog gnawing on something, and it kind of like maybe you're trying to get it away from them, and they get that manic look like, I'm going to crush it. That's what Godzilla looks like.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun. What Dugan and Javier Garron, I think is his name, what they're giving is the crowd pleaser version of Paco Medina and Javier Garron are the artists. The crowd pleaser version of Godzilla Fights the Marvel Universe, and it's out of continuity, so they can do whatever they want. Superman Unlimited number 6. Is this the end of the story arc?
Oh,
it kind of vibes
it feels kind of like the end of it. There's there's a handoff at the end of some cliffhanger stuff. But this is probably it. Big action in the Kryptonite country that Superman and Lois and Ron Trooper stuck in. Starts with Superman trapped in Kryptonite mines. Yep. With literally, he's just like dying there. There's a thing I like about Superman that we don't see often. I think the first time I remember seeing it was after the death of Superman, when he came back and had not charged up. But Superman, when he doesn't have his powers and is still acting like Superman, is the thing that always gets me. Yeah. And Dan Slott does that here in a way I thought was really good. Yep. One of the people is like, what can you do to possibly help now that your powers are gone? And Lois is like, Superman is so much more than his powers. Also, I am a fan of old school Checkmate, and I like that the Emerald Knights are using the Checkmate armor. Yep. I would like for them to get the actual Checkmate organization to use the Checkmate armor. Same. I don't think Checkmate's not a thing right now. I think it's just not really a thing. Yeah, I think Rucka, though I love many of his qualities as a writer, he did ruin Checkmate. Him. Yeah. Well, good news for those who've watched Peacemaker. I'll say that. Justice League Red number 3. I'm really enjoying this sort of Black Ops, what's going on Justice League book. This has basically Red Tornado is doing some kind of he's got all this predictive algorithm stuff that tells him only a handful of people can know about these threats he has to fix, or else the creation of Justice League Limited will lead to disaster. And so he's got Cyborg and Simon Baz off recapturing a hero named Red Canary who's been taken by a version of the Brother Blood cult. Yep. Meanwhile, he's trying to convince Power Girl that he's not a bad guy by bringing up somehow connecting her through time, through magic and technology with her mom and dad before Krypton explodes. So there's like a half philosophical, is this the right thing to do even if you know what's going on? And then there's half action going on. Okay. There's also some fun guest stars in this. There's a big last page reveal. Mm-hmm. There's an interesting mid-issue, sort of a late issue kind of guest star as well. Yeah. So I'm digging it. I really like Justice League Red. Artist? I haven't read this one yet, but I like Clayton Henry. Clayton Henry's done a bunch of good stuff. It's really good. Yeah. Absolute Flash number 8 is a flashback story to Barry Allen and how he became the head of the project that created the Flash. Okay. It also gets into the Thawne story a little bit more. The Eleanor Thawne is the one we met, but it turns out that maybe she's related to Eobard Thawne, the original Reverse Flash in our world. Just love saying that name, Eobard. Eobard Thawne. Yeah. But I really like this flashback issue. I thought it was really good. I'm coming around a little bit on Lemire's Absolute Flash. Sometimes Lemire does need a little bit of a, you get the bigger picture. Yeah. Crypto, Last Star of Krypton, Ryan North and Mike Norton. This has been a surprisingly realistic and depressing version of it. But it ends on a high note, and it's really good. It's just, if you have trouble watching Animals in Trouble, I don't know if you're going to enjoy this book. Right. I feel like you've poo-pooed every issue, Randy. The thing is, I've read every issue, though. It is good. Yeah. It's just, I feel like people need the content warning a little traumatic, potentially. Yeah. If you can't handle dogs being being having their paws stepped on. Yeah. It's a little grim. Yeah, put them in a little danger. Yeah. If you can handle that, it is good. Invincible Universe Battle Beast. This is the final issue of the first story arc. It's got a huge fight. Yep. It's got a sort of a bit of a relationship defining between our computer and our ex-Prince guy, which I was surprised to see. And it's got a big reveal on the last page. Yeah, some connective tissue. And then they're going to take 5 months off. Oh, are they? Yeah. Okay. So it is
finished up, and then they're going to take 5 months off.
It's not like Robert Kirkman's not doing things.
Yeah, right. He's busy, and Otley's, as Nick pointed out earlier off mic, he is a little slow as an artist, so they need those breaks. It's kind of too bad, because it's got such momentum right now, but
yeah, I think parceling it into arcs, at least, is like, it's not mid-arc.
I also think that the cliffhanger will get people's excited.
They'll be ready for more. I mean, certainly the Invincible TV show has been like gone for like years at a time. When it comes back, people are just excited about it. So, G.I. Joe number 12 is a peace-moving issue. It is between the Baroness Major Blood Arc and the upcoming Dreadnought War.
This is probably my pick for the week.
This is really good.
It was a really good self-contained issue.
New artist, Marco Federa, who I think is great.
I think it's very good art. Very different from the previous one.
Yeah.
There's a little bit more realistic, but still, it honestly reminds me a little bit, you know how I was talking about the other day that Tony Salmons had a certain look to his stuff when he did G.I. Joe way back in the 80s. He just guessed it on a few issues. And he had a weird thing where he would, like, some of his faces and things like that were, like, pretty realistic, but he also drew big action stuff, too. There's a little bit of that to this. It's not that close, but like, there's also some, like, very detailed vehicles and like, settings in here, including the castle where the opening operation begins, where there's a Joe imprisoned. She's, like, their sniper shooter.
Yep.
Who's...
I think
not an original character, but like a kind of
mentioned on a screen in G.I. Joe number 2,
right?
I think,
which
is just a nod to Jim Shooter.
Sure, it was just a joke about Jim Shooter,
but they
the editor of the time. But yes, now that character cut ahead 40 years,
it's true,
and they're building up a new character around it.
Yep,
she's sort of an Olympian marksman, and she's on a mission.
Yeah.
It doesn't just look like it.
Even when they try to rescue her, she's like really devoted to trying to stay on mission, and she's been through it. She takes some licks in this one too.
But this is mainly focusing on like their Night Force.
Yeah, and introducing a character I didn't know.
But it's the Beachhead, Lady J, Flint group.
Yeah. They're sort of Black Ops team.
They're Black Ops team.
Yep.
And there's also some stuff going on with Cobra.
There's Cobra intrigue. Including questions. There's a certain character slightly coming back with a bit of a new look.
Kind of figured that was coming.
Yeah. But also like Destro talks with his main Mercer, his kind of sub-commander, his troop leader.
Yep.
And their scheme, and they're like, we might have to change up how we're dealing with Cobra Commander, and some stuff like that. I always appreciate when when Cobra's scheming against itself.
Yep, that's what Cobra's at its best.
Yep.
Lucky Devils number 5, Charles Soule and Ryan Brown's story of Devils, the Devils on people's shoulder actually trying to do something good, and all the havoc that is wreaking in hell while they're trying to figure out who's causing it. There's a lot of this. This is a really fun book. I like that a lot. It's one of their big, weird, high concept books. Shredder number 2. Do you guys have to read this?
I read the first one, but I haven't read the second one.
I enjoyed this.
This is basically just Shredder shredding people.
Yeah.
Well, in the first one, though, it was interesting because they portrayed him as a guy who was, a little over the hill?
Yeah.
Like
he goes into a bar this time to find a crime lord who's like a legendary crime lord, and there's this tattooed 20-something girl who's bartending, and he's like, I have a granddaughter your age. If you value your life, let go of that weapon. And I'm like, oh my god, he's got a granddaughter in her 20s.
Yeah. He's kind of like they are also drawing him as kind of hot older dude now.
Yeah, he's
like a Silver Fox badass.
He's a badass zaddy.
He's a badass zaddy.
He's also just returned from hell.
Right, but as I recall, in the first issue, I feel like he both kicked a whole bunch of ass, but there was also a how did you end up getting captured kind of thing to it, where it's like, and he wasn't he kind of doing working for a CIA type?
He's working for a CIA to try to infiltrate the Foot, which is the person in charge is maybe wanting to do some kind of biological weapon.
Yeah.
And this is all about the CIA dude being not sure he can actually trust the Shredder. They should put him back in jail, and the Shredder doing his thing.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, probably shouldn't trust the Shredder.
It's surprisingly fun. I really like this book.
Yeah, it's a cool
good.
concept.
Like I said, I remember liking the first issue.
Yeah, really good, really fun. We've got The War number 3. This is the wrap-up of Garth Ennis's extremely dark nuclear war story, and it ends extremely dark.
It's one of the more extreme things he's probably ever done.
Yep.
Would you call it one of his best things?
I think it is one of his best things, actually. Yeah.
basically he's kind of like when there is no hope left for humanity, there will also be no safeguards.
Yeah. This is akin to Punisher: The End, and that in that sort of darkness.
Absolutely.
But that is a little heightened, and this is actually a little more realistic. Cause
this is grim. This is also includes people slowly dying of radiation, and questions about like what's the point at that point, and all of his people in it were like 20-somethings, maybe sort of early 30-somethings. And sort of seeing how they all sort of break down during this is both grueling, but also very well written. Much of it is very well written.
It's beautiful artwork.
Becky Cloonan killed it on the art.
David Maria Lapham's conspiracy crime thriller "Good as Dead" gets a second issue. This is a big, thick second issue.
Yeah, this is their kind of twisty crime drama.
Yeah, small town, twisty crime. What else y'all got, single issue wise?
I think that's it for me.
That's it.
Okay. Second printings worth noting. We have Batman #1, the Matt Fraction Batman. We got that back in.
That's been a fun book, and I'm liking how much people are into it.
Yeah.
Like it's a fun, adventurous Batman with having fun with his tech suit upgrades.
Yep.
And
second issue, which we still have, also is a great Tim Drake book.
Awesome Tim Drake book. People are legit hyped, and I think it's living up to it.
We got Event Horizon Dark Descent #1 new printing, and we still have #2 of that. So if you want to jump on this prequel to the Event Horizon movie.
Yep.
And then we've got Punisher Red Band #1 second printing, and the #2 issue if that comes out this week. Trades, again, I'm not going to hit everything that's on the graphic novels on the table, but Batman Black and White Compendium. This is, I think, all the Batman Black and White stories in one. A lot of great creators on this. It's what started the whole black, white, and red trend.
Oh, yeah.
Batman Ego and Other Tales is basically some of Darwin Cook's earliest Batman stuff. If you don't know who Darwin Cook is, I don't know how you don't know it because I talk about him all the time, but one of my favorite artists died a few years back. Was the designer of the Batman Beyond opening sequence.
And he came from that. He worked on animation with Bruce Timm in the 90s. So he's got that style, but he may actually be the best artist of that style.
Yep.
Like just the best. Maybe even over Bruce Timm.
Question. I like Bruce Timm. I like Michael Cho. I like whoever, Jay Bone.
But you know what? Where those guys were kind of animators who dabble in comics, I think what do you call it? Darwin Cook became an animator who or a comic book artist who started in animation.
Agreed. He was a comic book guy.
He was a comic book guy, and he threw himself heart and soul into it. And he did he adapted the Parker books. He did DC New Frontier.
In his short time, he made some stuff that left a real mark. Yeah, for sure.
So,
I
was just gonna say, catching his early Batman stuff is a treat.
Yep. Birds of Prey by Gail Simone gets a big hardcover omnibus.
Oh, nice.
If you want, you can buy that out from underneath Serena. DC Finest puts out a Supergirl that is the Peter David Supergirl stuff, where she was a
fallen angel of some sort.
She's a fallen angel, yeah. It was really interesting. I liked that a lot.
The thing with Peter David, it's not like they have stayed with the fallen angel thing.
No.
But Peter David also he wrote for the moment, so it's not like you can read and enjoy this if you just like Peter David's writing.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter that whether or not it's a vital thing right now, because if I'm not mistaken, he worked with a bunch of good artists then. Gary Frank primarily, kind of when he was breaking out.
Yep.
And you're always going to get good, fun and cool and thoughtful stories from Peter David.
Yeah, this is some of his darker stuff. It's really good. I picked this up.
Peter David, for a guy who can do some pretty lighthearted stuff, can also go way dark.
I picked this up when they reprinted it a few years ago, and it's been out of print, and I'm glad to see it back in print. Really good. Whether you're a Supergirl fan or just a Peter David fan, it's really good stuff. Marvel Studios cross-section, like the Star Wars cross-sections we got last time. This is
one of those art books?
Yeah. But it's from all the Marvel Studios stuff.
Oh, yeah, I think I saw. So this would have the helicarrier in it, and the Quinjets and
Iron
things.
Man armor, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
super elaborate
big
drawings
hardcover
or paintings.
Great gift for people. If you know someone who likes the Marvel Cinematic Universe and owns a comic store and you wanted to buy them a gift, that'd be a good one.
I don't know anybody like that.
It's fair.
Wait. No.
Yeah. And then World Tree Volume 3, the dark horror web infested
James
Tynion book. I think it's still going, right? Is this the finale? Okay.
Oh, I think it's still going.
I think so too. This thing is dark and weird and really good.
It's one of the cooler, twistier stories. It's quite original horror about this. What do they call it? The undernet or something like that.
Undernet,
they basically think of the what do they call it in Stranger Things?
Oh, the upside down.
Think of it like the upside down of the internet.
Yeah.
But people who've read Tinian stuff know how kind of twisted he can be.
Yeah.
And but also there's that. There's also like all these interesting characters populating this story and interacting with each other and having horrible things happen.
Yep.
And so if you would like that kind of harder edged horror, but also smarter horror, he's the guy to go to.
Yep, for sure.
What's the overall series called?
World Tree.
World Tree. Yeah.
Or W0RLD.
It's like Leet Speak.
Yeah. All right. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to talk about some trailers and some New York Comic Con news. All right, so there's a lot of news. We don't have a lot of time. We're going to try and get through what we can.
Yep.
First of all, we got 4 trailers to talk about.
Were these kind of coming out? What was the...
New York Comic Con.
New York Comic Con, yeah.
Star Trek Starfleet Academy. This is the second trailer. The first one was a teaser of sorts.
This is a better trailer.
It's a good trailer.
Yeah. It's this is set in the farthest that we've seen that Star Trek futures go.
It's in the Discovery era, post-Discovery era.
32nd century. And but basically it's a time when Starfleet is rebuilding, and they have like a school that's like...
It's on a starship, right?
It's on a starship, yeah.
Holly Hunter
cool.
is the captain and the headmaster.
Yeah, she seems like kind of snarky and tough and all this.
She's got a familial connection with Caleb, who's a character who lost his mom when he was young, to a bad guy played by Paul Giamatti, who I can't quite tell what he is.
Potentially wildly over the top Paul Giamatti.
Yeah.
I should know this, but I haven't looked into it recently.
Yeah, Dave, why aren't you a Star Trek expert?
You know, that one woman who was like doing the awkward handshake thing, like handshake in the air.
Yeah.
I believe she is like a hard light hologram.
Okay.
So since there is a glimpse of Voyager's doctor in this,
More than a glimpse. He's in a few scenes.
Yeah, he's going to be in it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's going to end up being like her mentor, but I believe she is, if I'm not mistaken, also a hologram.
That's cool. We see Tilly, although you said that she thinks she's only in one episode.
I believe that's actually been confirmed.
Which is a bummer, because I really like Tilly.
Tilly from Discovery.
But also Jet Reno. Glad to see more Jet Reno.
Yes.
I am interested in all this. The characters they're showing us are all interesting.
There was a glimpse of somebody who was a little bit of like... kind of like the hard-edged coach. He was like a little bit more of a drill sergeant. You see some romance between the kids.
The coach is a Jem'Hadar Klingon hybrid, I believe.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
And looks interesting.
Paul Giamatti is part Klingon, part Tellarite.
Yeah, they're all like weird crosses of different races.
Well, it makes sense. Basically, this far in the future, you're going to have less people who are just one thing.
That's true.
If races can interact and reproduce, they're going to have done it.
If this was just the trailer, I would have been like very excited for this because it's slick, the characters all look good, the actors are good, but the history of Trek since it relaunched has been uneven.
Right.
You and I, Dave, I think both really like Discovery, but I think both of us would admit that it's very flawed.
Yes.
Same deal has happened, unfortunately, with Strange New Worlds this season.
Yeah, Strange New Worlds started so strong.
Yeah, I honestly thought it was the best Trek aside from Deep Space Nine, and I was like sometimes conflicted, like, oh, maybe it's better. It's not. Deep Space Nine is still the best.
Yeah.
And Season 3 is the big part of that.
Yeah.
And even Picard, which I liked, was also very uneven. At times downright bad.
But then there's been like Prodigy, the animated series has been really good.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people like Lower Decks, even though it's not my thing.
Yeah, same. I like Lower Decks, but it's not.
And the new con thing that they're doing as a podcast has been great. So there are definite wins in here.
Yeah.
But I think it basically, since the biggest change, I think, is the Star Trek of 2009, the J.J. Abrams one, what they call the Kelvin verse.
Which I did not like.
But was, a flashy, broader appeals Trek that did kind of do its job there. Like, it brought in a new audience.
It did.
I've come around to it.
I like it, but I don't want the TV Trek to be like that, and I still think there's too much influence. It has the lush visuals of that, and the kind of pop style, and it's energetic. But without that precise cast that they had, which was a really good cast.
The cast was amazing in the J. Abrams Trek,
unless you've got that, and also honestly, their best strength was some of the witty repartee.
So I'll say this:
I don't really want that in the Trek shows.
My issue with the Abrams Trek, and it is definitely something that comes into the show, is it was
nonsensical plots.
Yes, it was Hollywood writing, really bad Hollywood writing, where it's like, that doesn't make any sense. You only did this because it gives you a cool moment, and it got grating. And it was at its worst in the second movie. I never saw the third one. I tried it, couldn't get into it. I know y'all like the third one better than me. I actually like the Apple Store visual look. I like the futuristic look.
I think it looks good. Yep. But yeah, the worry is always, will it be just that and nothing more?
The writing, I wish the writing was stronger. I wish, because Deep Space Nine, for all that it was like a 90s show, it has strong writing.
Oh yeah,
and I wish the current Star Trek had that level of writing with all the acting they've got going for it, the characters they've got going for it, the settings.
Like
and
Paul Giamatti and Holly Hunter are big wins, but you got to give them material.
Yeah,
and we can't tell from this trailer.
No, but I think the problem is that like. Guys like Akiva Goldsman, who is the worst kind of Hollywood writer. He was involved with Batman and Robin and that kind of thing. He is one of the big guys behind it. It's kind of like you have, was it Greg Berman? Who's Berman? Rick Berman.
Yeah.
Rick Berman was the guy fucking up Trek for the longest time. He was also the guy running it.
Right.
And there's always somebody who like they're the big name, people know them, but they are also the problem.
Right. The other day I went back and I rewatched some episodes of Voyager. And Voyager was known to be kind of like a somewhat lesser Trek, certainly at times anyway. Like a kind of a slightly more survivalist version of like Next Generation, very much in that vibe. But you know what? I was watching it and I was like, man, the writing on this is better than like this season of Strange New Worlds. It's better than a lot of Discovery. And like I actually found a lot to like in the episodes I was watching. And I need them to be at least as good as Voyager.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Hopeful.
Yeah.
But
it is a good trailer.
Yeah.
It's a good trailer.
We've got Wonder Man, which, by the way, I can solve the one issue thing we all had. The log line on IMDb says, Hollywood actor Simon Williams is thrust into the world of superheroes as he gets powers of his own and becomes the new superhero Wonder Man. So it is not just a show about Wonder Man.
Right. We weren't sure from the trailer.
Because the trailer shows no powers at all.
Right. Nick, you, I think, hit the nail on the head when we were watching it, and you said, so it's like Get Shorty meet the Marvel Universe or something?
A little bit, along those lines.
And the thing is, I love Get Shorty. I'm all for Get Shorty in the Marvel Universe, but I want Wonder Man to have powers. And if we're going to get both, I'm probably happy with this.
So the conceit of this, nobody knows it. Well, he's kind of a C-lister in the comics, but, Wonder Man is a super strong guy who has... what do you call it? Imposter syndrome is kind of usually one of his defining characteristics. But he's been off and on with the Avengers for quite a long time, since like the 70s. And
this looks like a very meta thing. I see there's a Hollywood Reporter that says, Hollywood experiences superhero fatigue. Is it time to hang up the cape? So it's going to be like, they're definitely going all in on the meta stuff.
Yeah, basically, Wonder Man in this story is like a character from, it looks like kind of a campy TV show.
They showed us the green uniform, which is cool.
It's going to get a revival, but it's getting a revival from like an art house director, and he's going to try something crazy with it.
Played by the guy who was the president of... What's the name?
President
of Baravia and Superman.
Yeah.
He's playing a crazy, wacky European visionary director guy.
It looks like he's having fun.
And Yahya Abdul-Mateen, who played Black Manta, is playing Simon Williams, who is an actor who's trying out for this part, and his acting coach is Trevor Slattery, played by Ben Kingsley, who was the guy who was the stand-in Mandarin in Iron Man 3.
Yes. So you're going to get there's some fun mentor-mentee stuff.
Yep.
There is like him trying to like he's like, I need this role, and he's trying to like find a method way to approach this character who's like kind of like a cheesy campy character.
Yeah.
You do see in the glimpses of the TV show they use like Wonder Man's 80s era costume, the green and red one that he had with the jetpack. Anyway, I sort of hope I guess he has so many kind of goofy looks. I suspect they might all be, shown on this show at one time or another.
I bet they'll do their version of the Safari Jacket, because that's the one that...
Well, I hope that's like... what I would like for that to be is like something he uses in his real world, that is the version.
Yeah.
Because that was like, sort of feels like something that somebody would have where it's like, I'm not going to do a full superhero costume, but here's this cool red jacket that evokes it, and all that. So, anyway, it is hard to... Like, it looks fun.
It's a fun trailer, but we don't know what the show looks like.
But
like, I sense it'll be witty.
It definitely looks different than any other Marvel show, except for like maybe WandaVision.
And somewhat entertainingly, it does.
And She-Hulk.
It does acknowledge the superhero fatigue in a meta way. I don't know if they'll really grapple with it in any way, or if that's just a bit of fun to launch with.
So this is being showrun by Destin Daniel Cretton, who did Shang-Chi.
Yep.
Okay.
Which he also did some good stuff with Trevor Slattery in that.
Yeah.
I like Shang-Chi. I think it's underrated.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And I think this will be fun. The only worry I had was, are they really not going to do powers? They're going to do powers, so I'm on board.
You know me, I'm Wonder Man fan number one, but I also recognize that this character has such an uneven history that there's not a lot of, I'm not beholden to just one vision of him.
Sure.
And I'm down for this cinematic, the Marvel Cinematic Universe version. But like you, Randy, I do need it to be kind of like also like action plus Hollywood Insider.
Yeah.
And by the way, that is, for people who don't know, that was like a thing for the character, especially in the 80s, was that he was kind of wanting to get out of the superhero business and become an actor.
Yeah.
Only he kind of really wanted to be like a serious actor and maybe wasn't quite up for that.
Yeah, he kept doing schlocky movies.
Doing schlocky movies and stunt movies, which is why this is rooted in comic elements.
Yeah. There was a great solo series in the 90s, or at least solid, that was had Jeff Johnson on art, and they've done some good Wonder Man stuff.
Yeah, I agree. So here's hoping. I like a lot of the people involved, and I want it to come off.
We saw the trailer for Night of the Seven Kingdoms, which is a spin-off from Game of Thrones and is 100 years before Game of Thrones.
It's based on some short stories or novellas that George R. R. Martin wrote that I knew from, because they did some really quite good comic adaptations years ago.
Called Hedge Knight.
The Hedge Knight, yeah.
I really like both those adaptations, yeah.
And the, it's funny, the origin is the sort of the same...
Almost exactly the story as The Knight's Tale.
Of A Knight's Tale, but without the comedy.
Yeah. Which people know Knight's Tale, right? It's the story of a squire who takes his knight dies.
Yep.
So he basically pretends to be the knight.
He impersonates him at a tournament.
So he can be in tournaments doing jousting, which is essentially played as the football of its time.
Right. There's rock and roll music. It's a goofy, fun movie, and it's better, so much better than it should be.
And he's trying to rise above his station and become a knight for real.
Yep.
This is similar. Sir Duncan the Tall.
The Tall is like that. He is kind of a doofus.
Yep.
And but what happens is when his master, the knight he serves, dies, he does the same thing. He tries to get into a tournament, but he finds himself embroiled in like some serious Game of Thrones type intrigues.
Because his squire named Egg. Can we reveal who Egg is?
Yeah, I think so. It's like part of the premise.
Because he's a Targaryen, right?
He is, and he's like a runaway royal. He's like a kid who's like, I don't know, 12.
But he's like destined to be king level royal, I think.
And he is like very smart, but also a little kid, and he's like a little shit, and he's snarky.
Yep.
But he's overall a good kid, and so it's like him and this kind of dumb but somewhat, but maybe he can rise above his station.
Dumb noble knight.
Yeah. Working together, traveling across the lands.
It looked very different from the Game of Thrones that we know.
It's not as... there is some political intrigue stuff, but it is not as everything is terrible, everyone's a rapist and murderer kind of vibe.
And there's also the kind of... One of the things I liked about it, at least in the comic adaptations I read, was that it was sort of you're reading one-man stories, and there's smaller stories like... There was a volume of it where he went, and there's like an ailing, like, sort of... nobleman who has like a small little fiefdom, like this shitty kind of castle.
Yeah.
But there's control. Who controls the water around there is like a vital thing. And there was this incredibly intriguing story about who controls that. And there's this sort of a femme fatale in it, who's this poor girl who's kind of been forced to sort of become this, grow up before her time. We've seen these types of characters in Game of Thrones. And to seize power, and she's like a third party in it, and it ended up being like this very intriguing story, but it's small scale. You're not talking about and I like that.
Yeah,
I don't want the fate of the kingdom all the time.
Yeah, same.
And so this, I think it's a good series. I know from the 3 stories I read that they were good. And it looks like this will be pretty... This will adapt it well.
Yeah, I agree. I've been pretty excited about it. I don't know if I'm going to go back and watch the other House of Hot Dragons.
You could watch this and see how you feel.
Yeah. We saw the movie, Park... What's his name?
Park Chan-wook.
Park Chan-wook.
He's best known for Old Boy.
Old Boy. He's done a couple others. This movie is called No Other Choice. It seems to be a story of a man who loses his job, and in order to support his family, maybe takes his job as an assassin.
No, he is up for a job, and he's killing his.
Oh, he's killing other people who might be.
And he is like what I would say. He looks like quite upper middle class.
Yeah,
if not rich. He is very well off. They have a nice house and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's talking about the desperation he feels to keep his family.
Yeah.
He says to put food in their mouths, but it looks like it's more like to keep them living the lifestyle they've grown accustomed to.
Yeah, so he's... Okay.
And the lead...
Or at least that's the energy I got.
The lead is Lee Byung Hung, who played Storm Shadow, and
okay.
he was in oh crap, what was the Netflix?
I don't know.
Squid Game.
Squid Game. He was in there.
Squid
He was
Games.
like one of the head, like the bad guys.
He's the lead squid.
Interesting. He's Mr. Squid.
Oh, okay.
I think this look. I haven't seen any.
Well, who's the other really notable Oscar-winning Korean director?
Oh,
Yeah, Bong Joon-ho.
Yeah.
yeah.
And he, he writes stories about sort of class struggle.
Yeah, he did Parasite.
This is very clearly, like, it felt like it could have been one of his movies.
Agreed.
And the trailer doesn't show enough to say, oh, this is going to be great or this is going to be awful. It looks intriguing.
I haven't even seen Old Boy, so I don't have any idea.
I do think Old Boy is well worth your time.
Yeah, it's on my list.
They call this a comedy thriller, which
Interesting.
is an interesting.
Well, Parasite
mashing.
was a dark comedy thriller.
It was,
for sure.
It was.
It absolutely, like, there's literally a family secretly living in the underbelly of the house of a rich family.
Yep.
But I would assume there is a major twist in this because Park Chan-wook likes.
That's true, but I
Crazy
don't know. Does he
twists.
always do that, though?
Maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of his
Is he the
other
M. Night
stuff.
Shyamalan
Yep.
of the Korean?
Of Korea? I don't know. But it's. I think it's a pretty good trailer. It's one that it means it'll stay on my radar, and I'll see how.
Yeah, I'll be interested.
Basically, I think I saw this trailer. I'm going to see the movie. It looks really good.
And then let's talk about some news.
Yep.
So the DC, I think, basically ruled over New York Comic Con as far as news.
Yeah.
The stuff they released is crazy. So DCKO, which we all kind of enjoyed, I think.
Yeah, just getting started right now, but we know, that it's going to have this fun roster of heroes and villains fighting.
What we did not know.
We did not know.
They pressed the bonkers button.
There's going to be guest characters including Homelander from The Boys, Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat, Vampirella, Red Sonja, Annabelle from The Conjuring, and Sam from Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees.
It is crossing into other comic book licenses.
That's crazy.
Full on. And we don't.
Yep.
I don't think really know how is this going to be like one issue that takes place in another dimension.
I think they're all going to show. I think they're all going to show up trying to claim the prize. Which makes sense.
Does that mean that like the reason it's happening is to stop Darkseid in the DC universe? But does that mean he's also going to like take over like the Conjuring universe?
Maybe so.
And like Annabelle has to do this.
Darkseid is.
I think, but also it's less about Darkseid and then the Omega energy that they're trying to steal. The various people may be like, oh, I want that Omega energy.
Oh, interesting. Yeah,
Sam's like, I can kill all the people I want with the Omega energy.
I'm amused by the idea though that Darkseid like that does elevate him to like almost like above Thanos status, which is if he's like I'm not taking over one universe, I'm taking over all these alternate universes if this works
universe.
So that's what Dynamite,
Boom.
Yep.
And then Conjuring is its own thing,
right? I was talking about this with another staffer the other day, Nick, and saying I want Sam, the serial killing bear lady from Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. I want her to interact with the Joker and be like his new Harley Quinn.
That'd be fun.
But also to
fun.
Bust out her like little buzzsaw and kill him.
DC is also doing something. This is pretty bold. They're calling it DC Next Level. New series. There is a line that is basically smaller characters that they're trying to make them popular.
Like
again.
Firestorm is in the list.
Batwoman, Barbara Gordon Breakout, Deathstroke, The Demon, Firestorm, Shadow the Bat, Lobo, and Zatanna. And there's more. They didn't share most of the creative teams. They did say that creators include Jeff Lemire, Tony Fleeks, Jamal Campbell, Joshua Williamson, James Herron,
Greg Rucka,
Marika Tamaki, and Denise Camp. They did say Lobo is going to be by Scotty Young and Jorge Corona, a.k.a. Me You Love in the Dark, Ain't No Grave.
Yep.
I am all about that. I love that creative team. And those guys definitely can do that right.
Yeah, it's fun.
If I'm not mistaken, did I hear that the idea was that these books would not be having to try and hit the numbers of, say, a Batman or Superman?
I don't see that reference anywhere in this article, but yes, I thought
somebody
that was the
wrote
deal.
that. I don't know that we don't know for sure on this,
Right.
and this may just be more speculation.
Right.
But the idea being that DC is going to we're going to do these characters that are a little bit more B or C listers, some of them, and we're going to let them have their own sales equilibrium that doesn't have to hit Batman levels to be a success. And see what breaks out and all that.
It's a good thing. Lobo is going to do amazing because not only will he be starring in the Supergirl movie,
right?
I mean, that's a great creative team to have.
Yep.
And that pushes that. I'm excited to see.
I want to see Firestorm.
And the other one is Batwoman by Greg Rucka and Danny, the artist Danny. So
by the way,
Greg Rucka has been written most. I think he's written almost all.
Basically, well, she existed as a DC concept.
That version.
He definitely did the modern version. You know what I was excited about on a weird level? That Firestorm had the old logo. It says Firestorm like the nuclear man.
And it says Fury of Firestorm.
Well, I'm excited to have Shadow of the Bat back.
Shadow of the Bat was like one of the early '90s spin-off comics. Yeah. Back when there weren't actually many. There was like Detective Comics, and then there was like Shadow of the Bat.
Yeah,
yeah.
So, and also whatever Barbara Gordon Breakout.
I don't know what that is. We don't know anything about it. Yeah,
Breakout.
Yeah.
Huh.
So anyway,
she breaks out a new prison every week.
I'm excited. This is a lot of fun stuff.
Yeah, I'm all about it. I like this. I like that DC has recognized they don't just have Batman. They have many other characters they can do.
Yeah. I feel like
if only their
some of
fans
this
would
stuff
recognize that.
Is maybe, I don't know how much of this is being spearheaded conceptually by Scott Snyder.
Yeah.
But I feel like he has a hand in a fair amount of it, and I'm like, I think some of this might be a good influence, even though he's not, like, as a writer, he's not my favorite. But he is challenging them to do, I think, some new things, to, like, be a little bit wilder. I mean, like, teaming up with all these, like, independent comics for KO, that's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
I kind of wanted to be, I wanted to see that pitch meeting.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's just like, what happened that you were like, you know what needs to be in our thing? Homelander.
Yeah.
Shit.
What? Yeah. I mean, if we get to watch Homelander get the shit beat out of him by Superman, that'd be worth it for that alone. I would love that.
Well, you know, given how good the Deadpool Batman thing was, I'm open to these.
Maybe that's a Superman analog that Lex Luthor can kill.
Oh man, no, I just want Superman to beat the shit out of Homelander. I really would like to see that. Then we've got the Absolute Catwoman miniseries, although as with all Absolute miniseries, that's miniseries until they see how it sells and they decide to do an ongoing.
I'm excited for the art on this. It's Bengal.
Oh, Bengal's a good artist, yeah.
It's a great artist.
It's Che Grayson and Scott Snyder writing.
Yep.
And yeah, it's going to be, it's basically a 6-issue series.
I'm still kind of adapting to the weird globe head that Catwoman has, but it's distinctive.
Yeah, it is that. And then there's a book, we just saw a little teaser of it, Nick Cretaceous, with Tom Taylor and Derek Robinson, as going to be a Vertigo book.
Yep.
They haven't announced the full-on like Vertigo slate yet.
But it
is weird that they have. I feel like they should be doing some like 3 or 4 books to launch it, but and maybe they are. We just don't know yet. But
I think Tom Taylor slipped this one out.
Yeah, but it shows it's zombie dinosaurs, and it seems to be modern times. It shows like campers or something.
Yeah, I'm like, sign me up. This sounds fun.
Is this a DC Universe thing?
No, it's Vertigo.
Okay.
X-Men announced Shadows of Tomorrow, which is the follow-up to the Revelation stuff, and is going to feature the return of X-Men, Uncanny X-Men, some of those.
But also launches some new books as well.
It seems like Emma Frost may be at the center of it, which is interesting.
Yeah.
But the new series include Magic and Colossus, which is
a sibling book,
is by Ashley Allen, is a writer I don't know. German Peralta on art, which is really good. The two of them together, I'm really interested about that.
Yeah,
I like them. A Rogue miniseries by Erica Schultz, who did, among other things, Hallows Eve.
Yep,
I've liked her stuff. And Rogue is something to do with Mystique and Destiny as well. And then Inglorious X-Force by Tim Seeley, that has Cable with amnesia. He's trying to stop an assassination. I don't remember what it is, but it's got him, Helverine, Archangel, and Boom Boom.
That was weird, but Seeley is worth watching.
Yeah, Seeley pulls out some weird stories.
There will also be Generation X-23 by Jody Hauser. That's in February. Storm, Earth's Mightiest Mutants, which is the continuation of Storm, and Wade Wilson, Deadpool by Benjamin Percy, and Cyclops #1 by Alex Packnadel. And I believe that one of them, somebody's going to get left in the Age of Revelation future.
Oh, please don't.
I don't think it'll be Cyclops. I think it's somebody else.
We need that Cyclops in the real world.
Yeah, yeah.
Really, I feel like right now Jed McKay is the only one I fully trust to write Cyclops at the moment. But
and then they announced 2 other things from Marvel: Godzilla Infinity Roar, which is the team that's doing Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe. It's going to be the King of Monsters joining forces with the King in Black. And it's going to be Empire of Wakanda.
King in Black is... No.
Galactic Empire of Wakanda, Shire Empire, Kree Skrull Space. It's Godzilla in Marvel space.
Okay.
And Jed McKay is relaunching Moon Knight for a fourth time. Mark Spector Moon Knight. And it's new ongoing, new artist, but it's still Jed McKay's Moon Knight.
Yeah, which is really good.
It's really good.
It's a little ridiculous how often they relaunch it.
It's a little schizophrenic.
They just keep... I feel like they're probably like, let's keep getting the spikes, which makes sense to me. That they have a Moon Knight ongoing that's lasted essentially 5 years is crazy.
Yeah.
Randy, did we touch on the crossover that's coming up between DC and Boom with Something is Killing the Children?
No. We did. I forgot about that one. Something's killing the Swamp Thing.
Or Swamp Thing is killing the children.
Which is messed up.
Amazing
I
title.
forgot about that.
Which I believe suggests to me that the monster hunters of that world are going to assume Swamp Thing is in some way the monster, and they're going to have to ultimately have a team up.
Yeah.
Although I don't know how that'll all play
James
out.
Tynion writing, or
I don't know.
I don't remember.
I saw it announced somewhere.
Too,
one of the many crazy things that is coming up.
I kind of like this slate of announcements. It feels bonkers and kind of like fun.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I feel like usually it's just the big properties that cross over, or like the most commercial ones, pop things like the Ninja Turtles or the Power Rangers. To do it with Something is Killing the Children, which admittedly is kind of like its own little sub-franchise.
I was going to say, it's huge.
But it's not like the average person knows what a Ninja Turtle or a Power Ranger is, but does not know what a Something is Killing the Children is. And, but increasingly our readership does.
It is a one-shot.
Okay.
By James Tynion and Werther Della Eledra.
Okay. So that sounds really fun.
Yeah.
Yes. Marvel teased a bunch of stuff for the MCU. We don't get to see some of these trailers, but there were teasers. According to Screen Crush, which I don't know how likely, I don't believe internet weird sites, but they say that includes the return of Ultron, the MCU debuts of Paladin,
wow,
and Speed from the Young Avengers.
Okay.
And that the Daredevil Born Again Season 2 suggests that maybe Charlie Cox is going to be in Spider-Man Brand New Day, and that Spider-Man might be in Daredevil. All they need to make me love Daredevil, even with it being just basically the Netflix show, is to have Spider-Man show up.
Well, that showed Charlie in his new costume, which is the Daredevil costume.
Yeah.
Like the actual with the
Daredevil,
DD on it.
Yeah. Jessica Jones is going to be in that season.
I saw that.
There are rumors of Luke Cage. We don't know, but I thought, and they also revealed that somebody who died in season 1 will be back in season 2, which is not a shocker.
Yeah.
I was mostly disappointed with season 1 of Born Again. It was just the Netflix show for the most part for me. I watched all of it, but I wasn't. Good performances, not what I wanted out of Daredevil. She-Hulk was so much closer. But I really hope that they can land season 2 for me.
Yeah.
Because they're doing more. Bring me Spider-Man and Daredevil, I'll forgive almost anything.
Yeah, that's true.
They also said that Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man and X-Men 97 will both appear next year.
Okay, it's a bit of a wait, but we're closing in on the end of the year.
They did show trailers,
and those were two great animated shows.
Yeah. Yep.
So, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, much better than anybody expected it to be. I think.
Sure.
And then X-Men 97. Ridiculously great comeback.
Yes, it was really good. And I'm not even a fan of the original X-Men 97 stuff.
If you had told me that 20 years after the fact that they're going to do a version that matches and betters in every way the original and gets me on board, I would be like, well, you're lying, sir. Yeah. But that is what they did. IDW announced the 4 new titles for IDW Dark in 2026. Oh.
Smile for the Camera, which is the
Smile franchise, yep.
Stalking a group of international models in New York. So,
okay.
A Quiet Place Storm Warning by Phil Hester writing and laying out, and Ryan Kelly doing the art. That's a great team.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's the monsters in the small town in the Midwest. The Exorcism at Buckingham Palace, the sequel to Exorcism at 1600 Penn.
Okay.
And Operation Iron Coffin, which is a new take on Dracula, adding elements from Castlevania, Metal Gear, and Hellboy. A British bomber drops an iron coffin containing Dracula on a Nazi train carrying super weapons in order to stop Hitler from creating a vampire army. That is a hell of a pitch.
That's pretty good. Pretty good. What's it called?
Operation Iron Coffin. Yeah.
Yeah, that's... You know what? Sorry, who's this IDW?
Yeah, IDW's Dark Line.
Good job with your horror line.
They're doing a good job.
You're having fun.
Yeah.
You're having fun.
Between IDW Dark and Ignition, it's a great time for horror comics.
Yeah.
And the last thing, this is kind of an inside baseball thing, but Free Comic Book Day, I don't know if people know this, was mostly a diamond thing. It was one thing that got put on the auction block.
Yep.
And while Penguin and Lunar support it with the publishers they have, the smaller publishers, the one that makes it like 3 tables instead of maybe 1 or 2, is Diamond. Well, that has been acquired by Universal Distribution, the guys who now own Alliance Games. They are a big popular Canadian distributor. They've started to branch out into America. This is a big move from them, but it does mean that it is much more likely Free Comic Book Day will happen in 2026.
Nice.
So that's really good news.
It's always been a big thing for us.
Yeah. They've got good logistics and stuff like that. We don't know exactly what's going to happen with it yet, but the fact that they have a plan makes me feel a lot better about the possibility of seeing it go on. I was worried that one of our best days of every year might go away.
Yeah.
And instead, looks like we're going to get it. So, that is all the news we've got. If we had more time, we would take a break, come back. Nick would talk about the 10 horror movies he watched between last podcast and this podcast.
I would say I rewatched. There's only one new one in there.
I would talk about the 2 I rewatched at ACL Fest. We don't have time for that.
Yep.
So next week, we'll talk about the 20 horror movies Nick has watched, the maybe 3 or 4 that I have watched, and maybe Dave will watch one.
Who knows?
We'll talk about Scare for a Cure as well, because Dave and I are going out to that. But that's it for us this time. We'll be back next week with more. Until that time, yo, Joe.
Roguecast is a weekly podcast broadcast from Rogues Gallery Comics and Games in Round Rock, Texas. You can find us online on Facebook and at www.roguesgallerytx.com and email us comments or questions at roguesgallerytx@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.